Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I am your host, Lorna, certified food freedom coach and founder of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. I've spent 10 years in an unhealthy relationship with food, binge eating, over-exercising, and feeling insecure in my body. This podcast is all about helping you get to the root of your food struggles and teaching you how to rewire your brain so you can end binge eating. If you're ready to improve your relationship with food and cultivate more self-love towards yourself and your health, this is the podcast for you. So let's get to it and jump right in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I was having a conversation with one of my private clients. We do some private coaching together. And she was talking to me and sharing how a few years ago, she felt balanced and in control with food. And ironically, she was allowing herself to enjoy the food that she loved. She wouldn't question, if she was allowed to eat this or not. Like, she was having her regular meals. She was honoring her cravings anytime she wanted some chocolate, anytime she wanted a s'mores, anytime she wanted to go out for dinner. Like, she would allow herself, and she wasn't binging. And now she's finding herself overeating and binging, and it's in direct relation to the restriction and the rules that she's giving herself. So this is a huge breakthrough moment, right? She's like, I recognize restriction is not the answer. And sometimes you guys have to go through these moments of binging and feeling out of control with food to be like, wait a minute. I am restricting myself and I am out of control with food. And if you think back to your life, this one client, she was a few years ago, I had no urges. I was not binging, and I was allowing myself, ice cream, or I was allowing myself, this particular client really likes s'mores and chocolate. And she was allowing herself to have that. And she was having regular meals throughout the day. She wasn't restricting herself. And this year, she was restricting more than normal. And she was telling herself that she can't buy food. She was telling herself that she can't bake. How many of you guys like baking? I have so many clients that love baking, but it's I don't want to do that because I associate that with baking. I associate it with binging. I don't want to bake because I'm going to binge. But before, this client a few years ago, she was baking. She enjoyed it. It's the creative thing for her. She really enjoys that. And she wasn't binging. She was baking. She was allowing herself the treats. She was actually having full-on meals, and she wasn't binging. And so we're having this conversation back and forth, and I just reminded her, you need to trust yourself. How many of you guys need to trust yourself more? When you get a craving, that's your body telling you you want something. You don't have to fear it. You need trust. This client a few years ago wasn't binging because she was trusting her body. When she had a cue, when she had a craving for chocolate, she didn't second guess. She didn't overthink. It was okay, my body is craving some chocolate. I'm going to honor it. And as a result, she had less binges. And now she had this breakthrough moment today. She's like, I think I know exactly what you're going to say, but I think the solution is to allow myself to have it. And it's so much more than that, though. So she was like, do I just go out and buy all the foods that I want? And I don't recommend that either, because the reality is if you just go and buy all of this food and you have it in your house, of course you're going to eat it. And I'm not saying keep trigger foods out of the house. You guys know me by now. If you've listened to 99.9% of my episodes, that's not a sustainable solution. But also I don't recommend, you're not going to go and buy 99 of your trigger foods and expect yourself to have control. If trust isn't built yet, then maybe you don't have 99 trigger foods in your house, right? And so this client was asking me, like, after this breakthrough, she's like, I just got to allow myself to have it. And then she kind of got a little scared a little bit. And she's like, should I tell myself only like a few times per week? And she's like, I think I know your answer. Like, just trust myself, trust my intuition. And I was like, yes, intuitive eating is being intuitive, not plan, not rigid, not rules, not only on Monday you can have chocolate. And on Sunday, you can also have chocolate. Like, it's not specific days, because how do you know if you're going to want chocolate on Monday? How do you know if you're going to want chocolate on Sunday? Like, you're not going to know, right? You're not going to know if you're going to feel like an extra snack one day. But if you have this desire, or you're hungrier than normal one day, that is what intuitive eating is. You're honoring that. You're not saying, like, I'm going to have an extra snack on Wednesday. Well, what if you're not hungry? You're not saying I can only have chocolate on Monday and Sunday, because what if you don't feel like it? Intuitive eating is being intuitive and trusting yourself. So you got this feeling in your body of like, I'm actually a little bit hungrier today. Like, I'm just going to eat more, and trusting that that is okay. Trusting that your body is sending you the proper signals. And so it's not about, okay, well, I'm allowed these foods, but only if or only when. No, that's not intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is not, I can only have these snacks on specific days. Intuitive eating is being in tune with your body. And so this client is so excited because she's starting to eat more regularly throughout the day. She's having her meals, and she's not restricting all day, and therefore she's no longer binging at night. I really gave her some specific tools for when she's feeling the urge to binge that will help her to not give in. We also worked through a few things that were actually stressful for her and just creating so much anxiety in her system. So we really worked through that. So she's feeling a lot more calm throughout the day. She's feeling more relaxed throughout the day. And now she's so looking forward to actually allowing herself to bake. Again, that's something that she enjoyed. What is something that you enjoy, but you're not allowing yourself to do in fear of the calories or the fear of the food, right? Like, if you really enjoy baking, are you not going to do something you really enjoy because what if I binge? You're never going to trust yourself. Right. So this client is like so excited to get back into baking and just like build up that trust. She's excited to continue fueling her body. And we had this whole conversation of like, it's so much deeper than just allowing yourself to eat what you want. Like, this is fueling your body to be healthy. Restriction is not healthy. And so is binging. Like, none of those things are healthy. And I know so many of you guys actually want to be healthy. Like, maybe you say you want to lose weight and maybe you do have that goal, but like deep down, you want to feel good. You want to be healthy. You want to take care of your body. And taking care of your body is eating regularly throughout the day. It's not starving yourself all day and coming home and binging. It's not baking. And then when you do bake, binge on the whole thing. It's baking when you feel like it. It's honoring your cravings when you feel like it. It's eating regularly throughout the day so you don't come home and binge. And so I just wanted to share this because I feel like this client had this huge pivotal moment of like, I need to trust myself. Like, that is really like the missing piece, trusting yourself. And you might not trust yourself right now, but the way that you build trust is by taking action. And by this client now being more in tune with her body to see when she's experiencing a craving and then honoring that, that is how you build up trust. Trust is not built when you experience a craving and you do everything in your power to not give in. Diet culture tells you, don't give in to your cravings. Diet culture tells you, fear your cravings. Diet culture tells you it's okay if you're hungry. And this is why it can feel so backwards doing a lot of the things that I tell you guys to do. But that is exactly what healing your relationship with food is. It's literally doing almost quite literally the opposite of what you've been told your whole life. You've been told don't eat a lot so you can lose weight. And that creates urges. And what I'm telling you is make sure that you're eating enough so that you don't have urges. Diet culture tells you don't trust yourself, don't eat intuitively, follow this plan, follow the macros, follow MyFitnessPal. And I'm telling you to stop following the diet rules, stop following what everyone else is doing and listen to your body, be intuitive with your body. Diet culture tells you eat clean Monday through Friday, and then you can have one cheat meal a week. And what that does is literally have you having a planned binge. A cheat meal is just a planned binge. Literally, I had them every single week. When I used to diet and I was on these meal plans, I literally would be so clean, like plain chicken, freaking plain broccoli. And honestly, at the time, I didn't mind those meals. Like I enjoyed it, but like it's nowhere near close to the enjoyable meals that I have today. And I still eat healthy. I still take really good care of myself. But because I would have this one cheat meal a week, that it wouldn't be considered one cheat meal. It was literally a freaking cheat day. Because for me, I couldn't just have a cheat meal. Like I remember one of my coaches was like, okay, so instead of like your regular dinner, like just go out and like have like a burger and fries or whatever. Or like I remember him saying like, have like a steak dinner. And I'm like, that's not a freaking cheat meal, but okay. And my version of that was like, okay, well, I'm going to go out for dinner and then I'm going to get dessert. And then I'm also going to come home and finish all the food that my mom makes that I normally don't allow myself to have. So like that leftover pasta, yeah, I'm so full, but like today's the opportunity because tomorrow I've got to get back on track with my diet. And although I know that a cheat meal is coming, it's not for another week. So I'm going to be deprived Monday through Thursday. So I got to eat it all. And that's not healthy, right? So diet culture tells you one thing, like don't give into your cravings, like be hungry, like push through. And I'm here to tell you, like honor your cravings. You got to be eating enough throughout the day and you got to be trusting yourself. So I'm so excited for this client because again, she's so receptive to change. And she's like, well, clearly like what I'm doing is not working. Like clearly I'm restricting and I'm binging even more. So like, that's not the solution. Like I have to lean into trust. Like I have to remind myself that I am safe. And she even said something so powerful. She's like, you know, I've come so far and I'm in a different place than I was a few months ago. Like a few months ago, she was dealing with like a lot of stress and things like that. So she just has like a completely different like environment right now. She has a different mind. And I keep reminding her, I'm like, you know, things change in your brain, whether you realize it or not. Like your thoughts are changing, your brain is rewiring, even if you can't tangibly see the results, like your brain is rewiring. And she's like, that is so true. Like I am noticing that like, you know, things are changing. I am changing my thoughts. I am changing the way that I'm even seeing my body, and she's respecting her body more and she's eating more throughout the day. Like she's not fearing that. And I know she's going to be having less binges over the next few weeks into the next months with just these few changes. So if you are binging right now, there's always a reason why. You are not broken. Like there's literally nothing wrong with you, but you have to be willing to see that what it is that you're doing isn't working, right? You can't say like, I want to stop my binging, but I also need to be in a calorie deficit, because that doesn't make sense, because your deficit is literally causing urges. You can't say I'm binging right now, but like, I'm not going to allow myself other foods because I'm so scared. Like it's not going to work. The clients that come in that work with me, they're open to change and they're willing to do things differently because they understand that what it is that they're doing right now isn't working. And when you have that mindset of like, I'm ready to change and I'm willing to do things differently, like you are going to experience a different result, because If what you're doing right now is having urges, imagine if you do the right action and you take the different steps, you're going to have less urges. You're going to feel less impulsive with food. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. And, it really just is a reminder to not be afraid to eat more throughout the day, or eat enough, I should say, throughout the day. This is a reminder to not fear your cravings. This is a reminder that you can trust yourself. Your body is so smart. Your body holds the truth. Your body is actually so freaking wise if you just listen to it. But if you don't listen to it, your body's not going to listen to you. So if you don't listen to the cues that your body is sending you, yeah, you're going to have these urges. You're going to feel out of control with food because you're pushing against your body. Your body is sending you a cue of like, I'm experiencing a craving, and you don't honor it. AKA, you're not listening to your body. Your body's like, okay, well then I'm not going to help you out. I'm going to literally feel out of control. But when you listen to your body, when your body is hungry and you eat, you're going to have less urges. When you're listening to your body and your body's saying, hey, I want some chocolate, and you just honor it, you're going to avoid binging on it later. So listen to your body, trust yourself every single day. If you remind yourself, I am building up self-trust, I am on this journey, things are shifting for myself, I am doing things differently, you are going to make so much progress with your relationship with food.